Okay, I see that we're live on the page. We will be joined by a special guest host shortly, hopefully, and that will be the one and only Tucker Maloney. We previously did this show from the illustrious Joe Moran Studios down in Koreatown, Los Angeles, where everybody from Marlon Brando to Joe Piscopo is discovered. But I don't live in Los Angeles anymore, so we're trying to find a way to do this remotely. This is kind of a test pilot that we're going to test out. Joe is on vacation right now in Arizona, so he will not be able to join us. All right, so do you want to jump into it? What are you excited about in 2019, the 2019 baseball season?
Well, like with all baseball, I'm excited just that the season is beginning. That baseball is finally back. I've never been a huge football fan, so I always celebrate at the very end of the Super Bowl. I'm celebrating that baseball is now right around the corner. That is the best thing about Super Sunday for me. So there's always the hope of spring before you find the harsh reality of fall. So what I was looking forward to this year is seeing more of the young players play, seeing them develop. I know we're only 2 games into the season. I would have preferred this development to be a little bit further along, but
sure,
it is a long season, as many people say. So there's a lot of factors that can come in. So I'm excited about seeing the young kids kind of stretch their legs and play. There's something about a younger team, and maybe it was Steve Stone that said at one point, they're too young, they don't know any better. They hustle out onto the field, they sprint out, they're having fun out there. They don't feel the pressure that a veteran is more used to and accustomed to getting on the field.
Well, that's what you hope.
Right.
Because I think the opposite side of that is young guys with so many expectations that they press and they try to be Mike Trout from the first swing, and then they end up getting mired in their own heads,
right,
and never really progress.
Which even in the last 2 games, as a fan, I am upset when it seems like we have a good opportunity in the 9th inning to maybe make something happen in this game. In game 1, they had bases loaded in the 9th inning, and a rookie comes in and swings for the fences, shockingly comes up 5 feet short. And that happened yesterday as well. Now, it's annoying as a fan, but given the difference, I kind of like that they're going all out. I mean, hitting the ball into play anywhere would have been a preferable option, but you don't ever want to start telling your young guys pull back. If they're excited and that's what they want to do, and if they're swinging hard, one of these days it's going to connect. It's just what happens. If you're going for glory, sometimes you're going to land in the dirt.
Yeah, well, and then we had kind of the opposite last year with Yohan Moncada, who tried to work the count all the time, and he found himself in the hole all the time. So he ended up having kind of a rough season because he always had 2 strikes on him, and that's never an opportune way to hit.
No. But it's better than popping out on the first pitch, too. I mean, the basic rule is always the more pitches you see, you're wearing out the opposing pitcher, you're getting a better idea of what's to come, you're showing your teammates what's in his arsenal. So usually drawing more pitches is a good thing. I mean, if a guy's regularly going to 2 strikes, it's not great. But I mean, again, there could be worse. There could be worse things. I mean, it's 2 strikes is close to striking out, but it ain't there yet.
And also in the era of pitch counts, I was bringing up the starting pitchers count is a good thing too. Get into that bullpen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go.
You're going headphones too?
Well.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Should I go stereo headphones? How about that?
Look at us.
Ooh.
Are we in the...
Oh, you sound worse now.
Oh, so you hear me better then?
No, you sound worse. I think your onboard mic was a little bit better than the maybe even sitting on your headphones a little bit.
Well, okay,
I don't know.
We'll
yeah.
do that.
Here, just for prop effect, because we're doing a show, I'll keep a microphone here. I've got about 4 of them in the house. I could line them up like a press conference here. Maybe get a little Woody Page sign going behind me.
I was actually going to make a joke that I was expecting a dry erase board behind you with some witty thing.
It took too long to get my family out of the house so that I could have silence for this broadcast. But yeah, I had some plans and some props prepared.
That's awesome. So So outside of the White Sox, obviously you and I are both lifelong White Sox fans. I'm expecting big things out of Yohan Moncada and Tim Anderson. I hope they take the next steps up. They've looked good so far. Even Larry Garcia, he batted over 400 in spring training.
Yeah.
So something may have clicked with him. Who knows?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of progression coming up. I think it's exciting. I'm a big fan of Tim Anderson, and I really became a bigger fan of his during the offseason when the entire scenario was going on with will he, won't he concerning Machado. Tim Anderson basically came out and said,
Yeah.
hey, I know he's a superstar, but I've fought and earned the position that I've got. He's welcome to come and take it from me.
Yeah. You can stick him at DH. I got no problem.
Yeah, but he's like, but no, I fought to be here. Now, you and I have talked about this before, and I know a couple of friends of ours have said this, and there's a smaller inkling of storyline to this than the broader coverage has shown. But the White Sox offered Machado a incentive-laden contract that would have been ultimately more money than San Diego. And the story is basically he didn't want to bet on himself. He wanted
exactly how
he wanted guaranteed money. He didn't think that he could hit 30 home runs every year, or he didn't want that to be banked on, he didn't want to be banking on himself. He didn't want to bet on his own ability. That is horrible. And despite their numbers and their experience, I will take a Tim Anderson over a Manny Machado any day of the week for that exact reason right there. Just for the fact that Tim is like, come and get it. Okay, this hotshot thinks he's coming in town. This is my spot now. You can bounce me if you want, but I'm fighting. And that's the kind of guy you want on your team. You want 9 of those, preferably.
No, 100%. But the media always plays it like, well, White Sox tried to lowball him. They only offered him $250 million. No, they actually offered him up to $350 million. But he took less than that to go to San Diego because it was more guaranteed money. And the exact same thing. I want a guy who said, no, I'm going to earn an extra $100 million.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. So I think we dodged a bullet. And I don't know how much of this story I can share, but a local, we'll say Bible study that I go to, a friend of the owner of this church is good friends with somebody high up in the White Sox staff. I don't want to give away any names, but the rumor from their end was that the night before the Machado deal with San Diego was announced, White Sox staff was told he's coming to Chicago. And it was to be kept hush-hush. They said there's going to be a special announcement tomorrow. The White Sox felt it was done. And they wake up the next morning, and everybody gets egg on their face when it's suddenly announced. Like, some late-night deal in a San Diego bar or restaurant, finally swung him the proper way. But it just says more about Machado. That it's like, it seemed like they were going one way, and then he did a last-minute switch that works out best for him. Fine. Go to San Diego. Enjoy your time out there.
I remember the reporters that were covering the White Sox, they talked about Hahn and Kenny just looking like they were shell-shocked, like they were totally flat-footed. And it kind of reminds me of, it was Thanksgiving, I don't know how many years ago, but Torrey Hunter.
Yeah.
He basically had a verbal agreement, and he said, I'm not going to sign anything until after Thanksgiving.
Right.
So just, let me have my family time. I'll sign on Friday. And on Thanksgiving, he announced that he was signing with the Angels. Dick move, Torrey.
Yep.
Everybody loves Torrey Hunter, but come on, that was rough.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Huh? At least you didn't wait until Christmas to spoil somebody's morning. But, yeah, I mean, look, you only get a certain amount of years to play. You want to make as much as you can. And while people that would never see what these guys make in a month in their entire lives can get angry when they see these contracts and get very upset and say, what is wrong with these guys? A lot of it does come down to market value and getting as much as you're worth. While you might not need the money, if they're going to make it off of you and the money is going to be out there, you need to get what your value is. You're devaluing yourself if you settle for less. That being said, sometimes you got to go with a little bit, you got to go with what might work out better for everyone involved. If you're selfish, I don't want you on the White Sox.
There you go. We are the gritty grinder.
That's right. Yeah, we don't believe in curses. We don't blame, goats and cats for various things going on. I guess most of those stories are out of date now. I have to restructure all of my mockery of Cubs because of the recent
There you
because of the
go.
World Series
Hey,
win.
you
I'm
know
like,
what? You won't have to wait long, I'm sure, before the next one.
that's true. Yeah. Ugh.
Is there a non-White Sox team you're excited to pay attention to this year?
Well, for my 15 years in Los Angeles, I am a Dodger fan now. And I think that
Yes.
there's been some interesting changes there. I've I'm busy with little kids. I'm busy with things going on in my world, so I haven't been paying attention as fully. And the White Sox information will find me more quickly now that I'm in Chicago, and then I can, I'm just hearing the scuttlebutt on the streets. But I've always liked the Dodgers, and I think with the White Sox and the Dodgers sharing Camelback Ranch and being kind of cousins in the league helps out. It makes me feel good about going for them because some people look at me like Dodgers, and I'm like, hey, look at how many little trades go on between these guys. It's like they're like buddy teams. And when you look at it,
Yeah.
it's I don't know. So I'm always kind of going for the Dodgers. I spend time in Wisconsin, so I'll turn on the Brew every now and then. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, it's for the most part, I'm looking at the White Sox. I'm a baseball fan, but it's White Sox all the way. If there's another game,
Well, so one of the teams that I'm excited about watching, and I am broadcasting from Madison, so of course the Brewers are my home team now. But the Dodgers East, the Cincinnati Reds are very exciting this year now that they have Matt Kemp and Yasiel Puig on their roster, and they picked up Sonny Gray. They've got, they're obviously still in a rebuilding mode because they've got those Goliaths of the Cardinals, the Brewers, the Cubs ahead of them. It's very easy to walk into this year thinking, well, this is a lost year, let's not even try. But instead, they made it very interesting and a very fun team to watch. All these guys that will only be with them maybe 1 year or two, they might still lose a whole bunch, but they'll be fun to watch. And for that reason, hats off to Cincinnati ownership. Their attendance will go up during a losing year, I'm sure.
yeah.
And they're going to be a fun team to watch.
Now, do you think, in terms of Puig, he is a player that has a lot of hills and valleys. Things can go up and down for him. He can. Do you think being outside of LA, outside of that microscope, and outside of that bigger market, his stock is going to remain as high? Because he has solid numbers, but there are better players. He can be a difference maker, but a lot of times he's a difference maker because everybody's watching him. And there was a lot of story in LA. Things concerning how he got into the country and having some shakedown issues from some of the people that helped smuggle him out of Cuba. There were rumors that Abreu came close to having a similar situation, but was able to, the White Sox protected him a little bit more based on info that they'd heard about Yasiel Puig's situation. Now, he has baggage. He can be frustrating. Do you think that he will continue to be as potent of a player on and off the field in a smaller market like Cincinnati?
Well, it's a great point, and there's no way he could match his marketability that he had when he was playing in Los Angeles. But at that same time, and so I think his next contract will not be as big had he continued his career in LA, but he will be playing in a much smaller stadium in a division with much smaller parks. So his numbers should improve, I would assume. He has less outfield to cover, and he's a good outfielder as it is. But I think his home run numbers will go up, and that will help balance out a little bit what he's going to be losing by going to a smaller market. But no, I think that's a very good point in that he's not going to probably get a monster contract the way he would have had he stayed in the limelight of Los Angeles.
Right. So I think, but in concerns to playing ability, you think it'll balance out. He'll start in a smaller park. He's going to start to hit it deeper.
Yes.
By comparison.
He'll hit it just warning track power in LA is going to be a home run in that small ballpark in Cincinnati. And he's always just been an exciting guy to play. And maybe the fact that he won't have as many, there's not a Sunset Strip that's going to distract him this year too.
Well, he'll find it. he'll find something in Cincinnati to do. Things might close down at midnight, but I'm sure he'll find somewhere to hang his hat. Yeah.
Excellent. Any last minute bold predictions for the year for any element of baseball?
I think the White Sox are going to do better than many people are predicting. I don't think this is a year where we're going to blow everyone away unless a lot of things just start clicking in May or June. Going back to my initial point where, they're young kids and they don't know the pressure and they're going to have more fun playing. as opposed to a team of 33-year-olds that are starting to see like this is important. I got to get this done. But if they can pull it together, they can be surprising. But I still see the White Sox maybe finishing second. Kansas City is a little bit further along in their rebuilding process than we are. They seem to be gelling a little bit more. We're still making little mistakes that have been happening for years. I used to kind of unfairly blame Robin Ventura, but we make fielding mistakes that should have been shaken out of your system in Babe Ruth League. That people should have, you should have figured out as a player in junior high. Baseball's an odd sport where these guys have been playing since they were 10 or younger. Most of them never even had a real job. I mean, they go and play winter league. It's not even like guys who play basketball or football where there's some form of an off season, even in the college level. In baseball, you're going like crazy. So for all the time that these guys have put in, how do you not know that the outfielder gets to call a pop fly, when the third baseman's backing up?
Yesterday.
And where's the communication? That's something a coach should have yelled at you about in 6th grade. Like, if you're charging forward on the ball, that's yours. And you wave off the third baseman. If he's got a beat on it, fine. But you're the authority. You're moving forward. A guy moving backwards gets waved off by the guy moving forward on the ball. And it's just...
Yeah, I know we talked about this a lot yesterday, that it's the rookie mistakes and all that, but absolutely you're on it. That at the very, very least, in the White Sox minor league system, that should have been so driven home. And those are the types of mistakes. We always glorify teams like Kansas City and the Twins for being good fundamental ball players. Why can't we have that reputation as well?
Right. Well, great theory about the Twins that I'll leave us with then. This is my dad's theory from a few years ago, and I want to put it out on the internet ether here. The Twins became a 4th-place team as soon as they left the Humphrey Dome. And the reason is it was an off-white ceiling on the Humphrey Dome. It was such a home field advantage for them to regularly practice and try to find pop flies on that field that they were able to field better than visiting teams. And once you take them outside and you put them outdoors, it's exposed that they're a $65-70 million team, that they would have some exciting years, but it took away a big chunk of their advantage. So there's just so many factors in baseball and so many different things like that can make a difference. I mean, God, even the White Sox are one of 3 teams that actually face southeast, where everybody else in the league, home plate to center field, faces northeast. So because the White Sox needed to keep 35th and Shields as their corner, they rotated the park 90 degrees because they wanted to keep that same address. It's just weird little factors like that. That affects the shadows. That affects where the sun is coming in at different times. And then that's something that your team has that 27 others don't. Does it help you? I don't know. Does it hurt you? Yeah. Maybe, maybe not. It's just there's so many wild cards in baseball that make it completely different than an 80-foot court or a 100-yard field.
And I got to say that it reminds me of an awesome baseball book I read, and naturally I'm the ghost guy.
Oh, yes. Really?
This is called
I've
Haunted
heard
Baseball.
That. Yeah.
Believe it or not. But there's 2 other teams that have a really awesome home field advantage, and that is the Brewers and the Rays, Tampa Bay Rays, where they put up their visiting teams in haunted hotels.
Awesome.
Which is really a strategy.
That's fantastic.
Any little edge.
Exactly.
Well, thanks a lot for jumping in.
No
Tucker.
problem.
If Joe doesn't jump in, maybe this will be the Tucker and Scott.
Oh, I'm sure he's having
and even if Joe does,
I'm sure he's having a very busy vacation in Arizona. Wherever Joe might be. You know what we say in California? I'd rather be dead in California than alive in Arizona.
Watch out! I think there's at least one Arizona viewer right now. So.
Well, that's fine.
And that's a huge percentage of the couple of viewers.
If they're in Arizona, they're likely retired anyway, so I'm not scared of them.
On their way. All right. Great talking to you, Tucker. Say hi to the family. We can't wait to actually hang out sometime soon.
Yeah, let's get the other internet show going sometime soon. Get back down to Chicago. Let's film something in my garage.
All right. Yes, and people that want to watch the archives of the Tucker Maloney Show, they can go over to YouTube.
On the YouTube channel, the Tucker Maloney Show. Just Google that, and we haven't done any new official episodes in about 3 years. I've got about 4 on my computer that I never edited, and maybe we'll get to that. But my daughter's been hitting me up pretty hardcore too. She wants the show to get going again, and we might have a. That's
awesome. She was a great production.
She was. She really cracked the whip, and we're probably going to do a spin-off of. We're going to do the Fiona Maloney Show as well, because she really seems into it, and her friends are into it too. So we'll see what sort of Train wreck that could be.
And she even has a little sidekick now too.
That she
could
does.
Be at least the key set PA.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Yep, we're moving towards network here instead of just doing individual programming. It's exciting times in North Riverside, Illinois.
And you're building your production crew from within.
I am building my production crew based on anybody I find who owns equipment. That was easier to accomplish in Los Angeles. And I'm like, people are like, hey, you did a YouTube show? I'm like, yeah, do you own a camera? Please tell me, do you have a camera, a microphone, anything? Yeah. a shop light, just a couple of bare bulbs. I need it all.
Anything. Extension cords are huge. Yeah.
Power strips, chairs. I need all this stuff. I need to get my hands on it. But no, we'll move forward with all this. We'll see how the season goes, and we'll keep talking baseball. Hopefully, it'll be a surprise this year.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, and thanks to everybody for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye.